This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses. When was the first time that you heard the phrase spread triads? I'd like you to, if you've got any thoughts on this, leave a comment below. For me, I think it was probably in relation to Eric Johnson. 300 years ago, this thing was written. I was asked by Brett, a Patreon, whether I would do a video sort of doing some more discussion of spread triads, and as I was thinking about it, this kind of tune came to my head. It's number 1 in G major. Bach wrote this in Germany in like 1717, something like that, like 300 years ago, and it's got spread triads right there. So let's talk about spread triads a bit. So I've got a Helix down here with the pads preset, which for every snapshot I've got a chord. So that's what you're hearing going on. If you want to check that out, there's the pads preset folder. Some of these teaching videos can do alright, some of them don't do so well, but if you like this sort of thing, do feel free to leave a comment. And if you really get something out of it, then there is the Buy Me a Coffee link. Or you could sign up to Patreon, you know, just to show that it's worth doing this sometimes. Anyway, so the real point here is that these spread triads, I don't even think this probably isn't even the first time that this occurred. You know, it's Bach writing some music for cellos, but around this era, one of the things that was going on was that you'd have instruments that couldn't sustain, so like a harpsichord, you would do things like spread chords or broken chords or arpeggios to give harmony, like a sustaining feel without an actual sustain pedal. So this is kind of what that's about. So the spread triad at its most basic form, you have your major triad. So you've got a G, you've got a third, you've got a fifth. All we do is break those apart and so that there's a gap at the top. So instead of our third, we go straight to our fifth, and then we find our next third. So an octave above the third is here. So we get a G, D, B. And the Bach thing is just basically adding in the 9 as well at the top. Okay, so that's our triad here. That's our basic triad. Now the other thing with this that you should bear in mind is because there's 3 notes, there are 3 possibilities. So you could have it root, 5th, 3rd, or you could have it 3rd, root, 5th, or you could have it 5th, 3rd, root. And you have 3 different kind of sounds there. All very useful. Okay, you can then take those to other positions. So here could also make sense here. So onto our next string set. So okay, and then there's this other one here. Now we've got our 5th, 3rd, root. So 5th fret, 9th fret, 8th fret, and then we've got this form here which looks a lot like a power chord. So that's a really useful one. So we get, then start again, then we could start again here. Yeah. decide whether you like that form. So third, root. In this case, we're keeping a gap. So we go string, string, skip, or you can go on this string, which also makes some sense. So identical in terms of notes, but if we do it the second way, then we, at least on the right hand, have a consistency in terms of, okay, we're going to go one string, next string, and then jump. Okay, then we get another one here, fifth, third, and the root. So those are our major spread triads as they occur on the neck in that particular form. Now in G major, we of course have three major chords. We have G, our root. We also have a C major, so we could do all of that but beginning with different combinations of notes that make up a C major triad. But we got one here, and then one more. We've also got a D major. Let's try and descend. Whoops, not quite. There we go. Then one more here. Then we get one here. Same again. So there's our major triads that occur in G major. So you could do something kind of cool around this. So what I would suggest doing is, of course, you've got this sound. Or you could do it in a different inversion. So we could start like here. G in first inversion, C, C in first inversion, D in first inversion, or we could do it all in second inversion, C, but what we really want to do is start to try to voice lead these. In that case, what we should do is start in one position, so potentially like down here. So we got our root. We want to go to our nearest C major, and this is exactly what Bach was doing. There we go, right? So G, C. We could get to our D like that. So now we've got a cluster of spread triads that are close to one another and that kind of sound musical. We could do the same here. C. Okay, then one more. Okay, up to the C. So we're now starting to get somewhere closer to the where what's actually happening is that we're staying within the same place. Instead of that more clunky sound, we get and now this one is actually sort of a different thing because it's got a seventh in there. Although I guess, yeah, hold on. could even go to the 6. Now, obviously, we've got 3 major chords. We've also got 3 minor chords. So in G major, we would have this 6, E minor. We'd also have an A minor. We'd have a B minor. Back to 6. Now, you know probably that a minor chord, basically the setup is just going to be that instead of an E major triad would look like this. We drop that 3rd down a semitone. So on this string set, an E minor looks like this. E, B, G. The next inversion, G, E, and then 5th at the top, and then 5th, 3rd, root. Okay, then on this string set, root position. There we are. And then a 3rd inversion there. And then on this string set, we get one up here, all down here. Then one here. And another here, G, sharp B. And then another here. And then you want to do the same thing, right, for A minor, if we're in G. Okay. I think that's right. So we're getting A, B, E, C, A. C, A, B. E, C, A on this string set, nice and tidy. So this one always looks a bit like a bar chord. A, E, C, C, then our A, 3rd in the top, wait, 5th in the top, E, then E, C, A, and then one more. So C, A, E, and then E, C, A in the top. And then we got our B minor versions, right? So then a D, like that. D, B, F sharp, F sharp, D, B. More. And one more. And then once we've got that, what we could do is start to connect these things up. So then A minor, B, C, D, E minor, and then this F sharp one. So that's not as cool a sound. So for me personally, I would probably just use an inversion of D there, starting on F sharp. So first inversion. Okay, then the other thing we could do is stay in the same position and go for our closest things. Okay, then an A minor, 3, B minor, chord 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then back to Okay, and that's some things you can explore. Now, another thing is that over your minor chord, so here's an E minor, a G major works really nicely, over an A minor, a C works really nicely, over a B minor, that works really nicely, a D as well. So you don't have to follow the chords, is kind of a point of making that. Also over a 1, a 5 works. You're sort of implying other things. And you're doing this sort of climbing thing that sounds... That's kind of, I think, how I would start to think about these spread triads. It's about, you know, implying chords, putting them together, finding the ways to play them all over the neck, but also then starting to join them up so that you're not making big leaps between them and actually doing something a bit more elegant, something a bit more like, I don't know, Johann Bach might do, and sort of picking voicings that are close to each other and moving between the inversions, I guess I would call them. I hope that's a useful lesson. I'll put together a bit of a thing for you to try up on Patreon if you're interested, but hopefully you can get something out of this video in general, and I'll catch you in another video soon. Spread triads. Let me know your thoughts on them. Cheers.